whatever.
Okay. Question one. Where did you grow up?
Um, Halifax, Nova Scotia till 1943.
And what was your neighborhood like?
Um, Old.
Do
Um,
you
it was
rem
very old. It had been reconstructed after the Halifax explosion.
what was the Halifax explosion?
It was where two ships collided in the harbor and blew up all the north end of Halifax before I was born,
Uh,
and they freed the neighborhood. It was an old neighborhood. Mm-hmm.
what was your home like?
Oh, it was a large wooden house upstairs, small rooms, no furnace. We would eat it with oil stove. Uh, very modest. It was big, but very modest.
Mhm.
Then I moved to London after that.
Did you?
Yeah, in 1943 we moved to London, Ontario.
And what was that like?
That was a newer neighborhood,
Hmm.
a little bungalow, brick bungalow, small. Mhm.
Uh, what people made up your immediate family? So, who did you live with and
I
whatnot?
lived with my mother from 1930 to 1935. I lived with my mother, father, and sister.
Hmm.
Then in 1935, my sister got married, and it was just my mother and father and me.
And where did your parents work?
My father he was in the army in the First World War. Then he worked as an orderly in a hospital. Then he had to quit his job to help look after me because my mother was blind and my sister got married, so he had to stay home and look after me. And then he raised canaries and pay in Avery.
That's cool.
And then in 1943, he gave that up and we moved up to London. And he went to work for the Army headquarters in the shoemakers department. He made shoes for the Army.
That's cool.
Mhm.
What were
And
your
he died very young. He died 3 years after that. He died.
uh, what were your responsibilities around the house?
Oh, I had a lot. I had to do housework because my mother was blind. I had to do housework. I had to do ironing. Uh, I did some cooking.
Okay.
Hot grass.
I said okay. And did you have a job?
Yes, I had lots of jobs. Part time. I worked in a chewing gum factory where they made thrills. I worked in a factory where they made Christmas tree decorations. I worked at I worked at McCormick's Cookie Factory. I worked at Kellogg's Cereal Factory.
What kind of work did you do at those jobs?
Uh, at Kellogg's Cereal Factory, I packed boxes of cereal. And at McCormick's, I packed candy and cookies. At the OPG, that was where they made the thrills. I packed thrills in a box, 12 in a box. And the Christmas factory, I made Christmas decorations.
That's cool. Did you ever get in trouble with your parents?
Oh, quite often.
How would you be disciplined?
I would get spanking.
What
I got
what?
quite a few of those.
Fun. What was the most important lesson your parents taught you?
To be kind and respectful and obedient,
It's good.
but mostly respectful.
How do you think your family life has changed since you were 18?
Since I'm 18, oh, a lot. I've got married, had a, a couple of full-time jobs, raised a family. It's changed a lot, yeah.
Uh, during your youth, what was expected out of kids? Like, was there anything certain?
Well, as I say, we were expected to get out, finish our schooling, and go to work,
Yeah.
help around the home, and not get into trouble,
Mhm.
not to do any drinking or smoking and stuff like that.
Was
We're
smoking and
expected to be respectful.
yeah, was smoking and drinking heavily frowned upon back then?
Not really, not like it is now, no.
Uh,
Actually, no, everybody smoked. I
did th-
started smoking when I was 16.
did you?
But drinking wasn't, we didn't worry too much about that because we didn't have the cars on the road. Young people couldn't afford to drive. Their parents couldn't afford to let them drive, so
Yeah.
that wasn't an issue. Not like it is today.
Yeah. Do you think a lot has changed?
Oh, yes, drastically, definitely. A lot.
What did you do when you were a teenager?
What did I do? I went to dances. I went to school. I went to dances. I worked.
What
I
was
started working when I was 16,
yeah?
full time.
Would you help out the family with any bills or anything?
Oh, yes. At that time, my father was dead, so I paid my mother a good board. I helped with the groceries. Oh, yeah.
And what was the average plate of food you would get?
What was
Uh,
that?
what were your meals consist of?
Oh, well, my favorite was fried eggs and chips. I loved fried eggs and chips. And we had roast beef every Sunday. For roast beef, mashed potatoes, Yorkshire pudding every Sunday.
Mhm.
Um, Stuff like that. We had a lot of eggs and chips. We had jellos and simple things that I could cook when my mother couldn't when I got home from work.
Yeah.
Fish is fish. We love fish.
Would you catch your own fish to cook, or would you buy it from the market?
So we buy that.
Uh,
Now, when we lived in Halifax, we still bought it, but it came fresh from the ocean. Yeah. So we
that's
bought
cool.
it. We ate just about, well, we didn't eat a lot of chips and stuff like people do now. And
Uh,
there was no fast food restaurants. There wasn't any at all.
was it just like kind of family restaurants more so?
Yeah, well, I don't know. We could never afford to go to a restaurant. I don't remember ever going to a restaurant with my parents, ever.
Uh, was this like kind of during the after the Great Depression?
This was after the Depression, and then which ended in 1937, and then the Second War came along
Yeah.
right after. We went from one to the other.
Did that hurt the economy?
That made the depression hurt the economy, but the war boosted the economy.
I see.
Lots of jobs and stuff like that after that. War always brings on jobs.
Yeah.
But during the depression, it was hard. There was no money, no wages. That was hard.
Yeah.
But I was just 7 years old then,
Mhm.
but it was hard. But we survived it.
Yep.
Life was easier, Bradley. Life
Yeah.
was a lot easier. Like, and no stress like there is today.
Yeah.
No stress at all. And I can remember. No.
Well, thank you.
Well, you're welcome, dear. I hope you get a decent mark on it.